Hello and welcome to Last Bell Boxing. My name is Ray. I'm one of the panel members on the show. Today, I'm going to give you my current pound for pound of North American fighters. So fighters that fight out of North America and are from North America. So we're just going to go straight into it. Starting at number 10, I'm going to go for Shakur Stevenson. For me, he's the best prospect stateside. In terms of skills, he's second to none. He's got a great future. He can easily clean up at 130 and then step up through the weights. He's definitely got the skills to do so. In his last fight, he showed just how well he can box. He was wary of his opponent's power, the South African, but he took that from him and he was comfortable. People will no doubt want to see him mix it up, but he's one of those fighters where the better his opponent, the more aggressive his opponent, the better Shakur Stevenson will be, because his shot selection is just that good for his age. Number 9, I'm going to go for Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs, he's only really lost to Golovkin and Canelo. Yeah, he lost to Dimitri Pirog earlier in his career. That could have been an off night. When you look at what he's done since, look at the guys that he's beat. He's picked up the WBA world title. He beat Sergio Mora twice. He beat Peter Quillen in a round. He's beat Gabe Rosado, who had a great win against Beck the Bully. He beat Jared Fletcher, and he also beat Daryachenko as well. So if you look at who he's beat in and around the middleweight division, he's beaten everybody that needs to be beaten. He's stepped up now to 168. For me, if you take out Canelo there, he's in with a shout. I don't think he's the best there yet, but he's in with a shout of doing something. He is still, for me, a great fighter, even at the age of 33. Number 8, this is going to be a controversial one. Gary Russell Jr. I know, he's only fought once a year since 2015. He's very, very inactive. He's following that Mayweather model of just fighting once a year for whatever reason it is. But in terms of his skill, his hand speed's still phenomenal. In his last fight against King Tug, who just recently fought Chris Colbert, he just looked fresh as what he did 7-8 years ago. His speed's absolutely phenomenal. I think he just needs to get himself more active, which is an understatement. I really do think he can become a unified champion. He just really needs to get more fights under his belt, because he's still got everything there. The Lomachenko fight, Lomachenko soundly beat him, but let's see what he could do at the rematch. Gary Russell Jr. has come along a lot since then, so has Lomachenko, but that fight will probably be a lot closer now. I'll still favour Lomachenko, but Gary Russell Jr. is not to be slept on in that division. Number 7, David Benavidez. He was born in Phoenix, Arizona. He still lives there. He still identifies himself as an American, although he's got his Mexican heritage. This guy can punch. 24 wins, 21 by way of knockout. This guy's serious. If it wasn't for those out of the ring issues, who knows? Who knows, man? He could have easily become a unified champion at 168 and then stepped up to 175. He's big enough to do so. He's got that big frame. I would love to see a fight between him and Zurdo Ramirez. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. This guy, if you take away Canelo, Callum Smith, he's the best out of everybody at 168. Everybody at 168, and I can't give him higher praise than that. Number 6, Javon T Davis. I can't really support him or the comments about him being a 3-weight world champion, because the WBA belt he fought Gamboa for at lightweight and the WBA belt he's fought Barrios for weren't legit, in my opinion. But it is what it is. But in terms of ability, you don't often see one-punch knockout power like that in the lower weight classes. You do in the heavier weight classes, Golovkin, Wilder. It's very, very rare. Apart from Inoue, I'm struggling to think of anybody who hits as hard as Tank does from the freakish angles that he does. He is really quick, which just adds to his power. don't be fooled by his ability as well. He does get outboxed a lot. He does get hit a lot, but it only takes him split seconds just to get his feet into range, feint, and then he's caught you with one of those punches he throws, whether it's an uppercut or a hook or straight cross, that just comes out anywhere. Phenomenal fighter. He really is. I would like to see tanking against the fighters around his natural weight. Put him in against those guys at lightweight, the Haney's, the Ryan Garcias, Teofimo Lopez's, and let's see what he's about, because he's ready for those big fights now. He's ready for those big fights. Number 4, I'm going to go for Jermell Charlo. He's 3 out of the 4 belts belong to him at 154. He's got a massive fight against Brian Castano. There's no duck egg. He can bring it. He can definitely punch. He's going to be Charlo's toughest opponent yet. If Charlo does it, he's going to have to go up on the pound-for-pound list. Out of the 2 brothers, he's definitely the best. Number 3, Errol Spence. This guy's a beast at 147. You saw him when he took apart Kell Brook. Although he's losing the fight at some stages, he came into that fight and he didn't give Brook a chance. And that was a very, very good Kell Brook. He was still sharp. Yes, he lost against Golovkin, but he still had it at that point. And Errol Spence just absolutely took him apart. You look at what Errol Spence has then got to achieve at welterweight. And although he's got a Pacquiao fight coming up, he looks unstoppable. I would favour him to beat Terence Crawford. Number 2, Teofimo Lopez. He comes in at number 2. One technicality away from being undisputed due to the issue with Devin Haney and Lomachenko with the WBC belt. They take nothing away. You can look at his fights leading up to the Lomachenko fight against Comey and Nakatani, and you could see the guy had some serious skills and some serious talent. He's huge for the weight. He's got the physical advantages over everybody at his division. And really, he looks very difficult to beat right now. He's got a big fight against Kambosos Jr., whether that happens next month in August or whether it happens in September. And then he's got a big rematch to look forward to, which is going to be a tricky fight. Teofimo Lopez at number 2 for me. Number 1 is Terence Crawford. Just look at what he's achieved in the lower weight classes. Look at what he's achieved at 140. Look at what he's achieved at 135. The only issue I've got with him is he's not fought anybody at 147 yet. But those he has fought, he stopped with relative ease. Terence Crawford could be really, really special if he was promoting in the right way. Unfortunately, he hasn't been. And as a result, he hasn't had those big fights. But against someone like a Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, I would still favour Terence Crawford. He can do it all. He can box, he can fight. He's got power in both hands. He can switch stance effortlessly. Sometimes he can look vulnerable, which makes it entertaining because you know he can give just as much back. He's a really entertaining fighter. And for me, he's the best American fighter that there is today, boxing. So there you have it. There's my top 10 current pound-for-pound American fighters. There's going to be some on there you agree with. There's going to be some on there that you disagree with. That's cool. Just leave me a comment in the section below. Don't forget, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We've got some great interviews lined up with some fantastic names in the sport of boxing on both sides of the Atlantic and also down in places like Oceania and other parts of the world. Also, look out for our live debates that we have every Thursday night, 9 p.m. UK time on the channel. That's fans coming together, debating about hot topics in boxing with us on the panel. Thanks for your time, guys. See you soon. Bye now.